Hey everybody, it's Auth-akasinitz here with PennLive. We're back to this thing where we're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles during the week and talk about some news. So the things I want to jump into today, and like I said the first time into this video, we're going to do three quick things, just a quick short video. I wanted to talk about the report from NFL.com's Ian Rappaport, and then subsequently a few other reports that Jason Peters will not restructure his contract, will come back and play with the Eagles at his base salary. His cap hit will be $11.7 million. That's because of a $500,000 bonus he gets for making the Pro Bowl. So Jason Peters definitely coming back his normal price. That means two things. One, the Eagles luckily don't have to worry too much now about restructuring their offensive line. If they want to get rid of center Jason Kelce to save some money, that's fine, and I think they would feel a little better about it knowing that they have a veteran at left tackle. You probably wouldn't want to lose two veterans if you're thinking both Jason Peters and Jason Kelce would end up leaving. The other thing it means is that the Eagles probably will have to cut an extra veteran or two who maybe they weren't thinking about cutting, and really there's no way where they can keep guys who it seemed like they were going to cut, at least at their current salaries. Guys like Connor Barwin, Jason Kelce, who we just mentioned, Ryan Matthews, and perhaps even a guy like Michael Kendricks. The Eagles can't really afford to keep all those guys and then still go after any type of prominent free agents. So those are some moves that I think we're going to have to see the Eagles make now. Maybe with Jason Peters taking a pay cut, they either could have kept one of those guys or they could have, still cut those guys and gone after a really big name free agent, had a little extra cap space. But those are things to keep in mind. Another report I wanted to touch on, coming out of Miami, that the Eagles will be interested in Kenny Stills, a very young wide receiver, an explosive guy. Definitely a deep threat kind of guy. That's not necessarily new news. I think pretty much everybody in the football community, and we've at PennLive, we've written about it plenty, that Kenny Stills just fits exactly what the Eagles want. He's a guy coming off of his first contract, so he's still young, mid-20s, and a deep threat, exactly what the Eagles need. So I think that it's really important to say, hey, every time you see one of these reports, it can get a little caught up in things. But this report is that the Eagles actually will show interest in Kenny Stills, and he just makes more sense than some of the other guys who've been thrown around. Alshon Jeffrey, maybe the Eagles go after him, but the price tag is big. Deshaun Jackson, maybe the Eagles bring him back, but he's an older guy. Don't you want a younger guy to build with Carson Wentz? I think it's the point to be made that Kenny Stills kind of checks off all the boxes the Eagles need in terms of getting a guy who's a deep threat, getting a guy who's young, and getting a guy who probably won't break the bank, at least in quite the same manner an Alshon Jeffrey would. And then when we look ahead till next week's NFL Combine, we'll have plenty of time to talk and write and discuss, the prospects who are there, who the Eagles are going to go after. I posted a story on PennLive today about some storylines. But two things that I think Eagles fans should keep in mind are the bigwigs in the organization who are going to be over there. So Joe Douglas, the new vice president of player personnel. It's his first full year in that job, his first full year. He was with the Ravens before, then the Bears. But this is his first time really running an entire player personnel department. So he's going to be very active at the Combine. He's got a scouting background. This is his sort of deal. So I think, Eagles fans should maybe pay attention to that. See who the Eagles are talking to. See if they approach anything differently at the Combine. We obviously won't get a look at the inner workings of the Eagles organization, but keep in mind that a new guy is calling the shots. And then with Howie Roseman, another thing that I think is very important to remember is that Howie Roseman last year talked about, I sat next to the Titans and I talked to the Browns and, I talked with the Dolphins at the NFL Combine, and then they made trades with all those guys. And Howie Roseman has been pretty vocal about the fact that he likes the Combine and other events like that because you get to talk to a bunch of general managers and you get to, create ideas and see who's available. So NFL trades won't be made unless something. NFL trades can't be made until March 9th officially. But I think the Combine is where you're going to see Howie Roseman test the waters a little bit. Dip his toe into the water to see if there's anybody who's interested in Michael Kendricks or Connor Barwin. See if they can get some value back out of some of these guys. So that's something to pay attention to next week. We'll obviously be back soon to talk some more Eagles football.